Hello and welcome back to Style Your Confidence podcast. Now, in today's episode, I actually wanted to talk about something that is relatable and that is on topic right now, on trend. And yes, I'm talking about the infamous Love Island. I am someone who has watched the show from the very, very beginning, and years and years ago, yes, okay, I was a huge avid fan. I would be like, I need to watch it every single night. Like, I would make sure that I'd be on it. This year, however, I have watched about a couple of episodes. Am I really bothered by it? No. Am I like, I really need to go and watch it every single night? No. Have I outgrown it? Possibly, yes. Maybe as I've got older that I've probably outgrown it. But I actually want to talk about today is whether actually Love Island has run its course. Now, there's been so many articles, I would say, over the years where it's talk about lack of representation, like through diversity, like body image, like the LGBTQ community, like anything like that. And I would say probably over the years, all we've really had is probably a deaf contestant and a couple of men and women of colour. And that's probably as diverse as actually the show have gone. They've predominantly been obviously white, male and female. But for me, being a size 12 to 14, I'm not a skinny girl. I never have been a skinny girl. I never will be a skinny girl. And for me, it's the whole lack of representation in terms of body image. Now, when you go out on the street and you walk around, everyone has a different shape and everyone has a different size, regardless. No one is exactly the same. But obviously when you have a show like Love Island, you are spending all day in a bikini, and basically they are probably size 6s, size 8s. They are tiny women, and I almost feel like it would be amazing if you saw someone that was like looked like you, that represented someone that was like a mid-size. But then again, I know on the other hand that if someone did go on the show looking like that, there would be no doubt that they would probably get scrutinised and criticised by the press about the way they looked, by the public as well, in regardless of the fact that sometimes the public are like, we need to see someone that looks like us, but there'd no doubt be someone that would then go and completely scrutinise the way they look. They'd get probably hate comments on their Instagrams and everything like that. So really, it's actually quite a fucked up society, if I'm being honest, because on the one hand you're like, I want to see this representation, but then on the other hand you get scrutinised for actually the way you look. So it's really difficult in that way. But I think where I'm obviously someone that's a size 12 to 14, I don't have a flat stomach. You know, I have cellulite. It'd just be nice to see someone walking around in a bikini all day looking like that. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. And I think Love Island is almost stuck in like 2016. I can't even remember when it first started, but I feel like it's kind of stuck in that time. And I don't know. I just feel like, are they clutching at straws a little bit in the fact that they've now got an all-stars show rather than just having Love Island that you have in the summer for 2 months and that's it? It's still brand new people. But now we've actually got an all-stars version that is in South Africa in January, and it's all previous contestants that then have come back and they're looking for love. And for me, like, don't get me wrong, I love love. Like, I never used to, because I never felt like I was worthy of love. And that's why I've never been a huge advocate for someone that's like, oh, love or anything like that, because I wasn't someone that, you know, experienced it, or, you know, I never felt like I was worthy of it because of the way I looked, and that was a huge thing for me. And again, this could be exactly the same reason why there aren't people that, you know, are a size 12 to 14 who don't want to go onto the show because they might feel like they're not worthy of love, you know, or the way society is that you feel like maybe a man won't love you for the way you look, which is just ridiculous. But these are the thoughts though that I used to have in my head, that I didn't think, oh, no one's going to love me because of the way I look. How wrong was I? I mean, I'm now engaged, which is ridiculous, because of how much work I've done internally and basically known that actually my self-worth is 100% of anything else. So I do understand it on that sort of level. But when it comes to obviously love on this show, I almost feel like it's a little bit disingenuous. And one of those reasons being is obviously they get paid to be on the show. And I think also the fact is as well, okay, yes, there have been couples that have met on the show and that, you know, have gone on to get married and they've had children and it's worked for them and it's amazing. And, you know, it's incredible because of the fact that, you know, this reality TV show has actually changed their life, and, you know, they've met someone that actually they really do love, which is amazing. It's incredible. But that sort of statistic is actually very small compared to the amount of contestants that they had on the show. And it's just almost like, I mean, some of them have said, how long have you been single? And one of them was like, a month. Okay, then why are you on this show right now? And it just almost feels very, yeah, like I say, it just almost feels really disingenuous that you're just like, what are actually your real intentions of being on this show? And don't get me wrong, when it's come to obviously the summer version, when you've got brand new people on the show, I do generally feel like, is it disingenuous in the fact that they just want to come on the show and they can get brand deals, because that's what happened to some people in the past. I mean, there's been some very successful people, i.e. like Molly-Mae, the way she's built her life and everything like that purely from Love Island. Obviously, Amber, that was on there quite a few years ago, she now works in the West End, and I've seen her in 9 to 5 and she is absolutely incredible at what she does. She is insane and she's a beautiful singer. But others, it just feels like, oh, you're just coming on the show just so you can have that 5-minute fame. Is that almost harsh to say, but is it true? You don't know what people's intentions are. Are they generally there looking for love, or are they looking there for something else? Who knows, to be honest? And we will never know that. But obviously we know that they do get paid to go onto the show. So, I don't know. It's all speculation really, but I do feel like maybe has it run its course now that, I don't know, the fact we've now got an All-Stars version, and it's like, are we just trying to hang on to something that maybe isn't there anymore? I don't know whether it's because I'm older that I'm now like, I'm not really bothered by it compared to when I was younger. But then I also feel like as well that, you know, if I wasn't in the headspace I was in now and I watched a show like Love Island and I saw all these beautiful women walking around in bikinis all day, it would actually probably make me feel more shit about myself and actually think, well, I don't look like that, and I'll start comparing myself, which has a massive effect and has the opposite effect of what you really want from a show. Rather than a show that's like really gripping and it's amazing, like something like The Traitors. I mean, The Traitors is completely different. I mean, could you imagine if they're walking around in bikinis in the Scottish Highlands? That would be madness. But yeah, it's an interesting subject to talk about, and whether there's something to it as to the point of, you know, should it be over with now? Should we stop doing shows like this? I don't know. It's just something that's been on my mind that I feel like I needed to just have a little talk about. Just have a little 5-minute talk. Well, I think it's ended up being like nearly a 10-minute talk. But yeah, has it run its course? I'd be interested to know actually in what you guys think as to whether It needs to stop. I mean, the thing is as well, obviously, when it comes to reality TV shows, we love a reality TV show because we love being nosy. We love looking into people's lives and seeing what they're doing, what they're getting up to. That's why things like vlogs as well do so really well on YouTube, because we're just such a nosy generation. Like, we just love looking into people's lives and just seeing what they're getting up to. And is it the same thing for this? Are we just filling a void that we're like, we need to be in someone else's lives and, you know, what's going on? I mean, the thing is as well is how much of it is staged when it comes to, you know, the arguments or stuff like that, or are they generally having those arguments purely because they're stuck in this villa for weeks on ends and like tensions run high and everything like that? Are they generally having these arguments, or are they staged? It's not knowing actually what is real and what isn't real. And I think that's another thing as well, that you could lose that faith within the public and knowing actually what's right, what's wrong, who knows. So yeah, that was just a little chat that I wanted to talk about, actually. Just saying, has Love Island run its course? And I'd love to know your thoughts. So, you know, if you think it has or it hasn't, or whatever you think, write in the comments. I'd love to know. I'd love to have a conversation about it, because I feel like it's so relevant. And I feel like the way society is going, although society is very slow moving forward in terms of body image and that, has Love Island now been something that is just not the norm anymore? Have we moved away from that? Is it time to do something new? I'd love to know your thoughts. But yeah, so that's a nice little conversation that I thought I would have on this podcast. But yeah, so thank you so much for listening, if you listened to this lovely rambling that I did. And then yeah, I will see you in the next episode.